Hey everyone, welcome back to another AguaceroWx tutorial, and today we are going to go over how to load in SkewT's into the application. So it's really simple. It works like it kind of does everywhere else. Automatic, or here I have the model set as the her, the latest run, and we have some data loaded onto the board. All we're going to want to do here is right click, and then we see a couple options here: downloading the board image, copying the board image, creating a GIF, or generating a SkewT. We're going to obviously click to generate a SkewT, and what that is going to do is bring up a SkewT. We are a bit different. We allow some customizing of the SkewT, so we're going to walk through some of what that looks like. The first thing we could do here is actually zoom in to portions of the SkewT wherever the mouse is. If we scroll in and out, it will zoom. Same thing with the photograph here. So we'll go from kind of top to bottom. So what we could do is first load in a surface-based parcel, a mixed layer parcel, a most unstable parcel, or a custom parcel pressure, and we could see that that is changing the parcel path that's actually plotted on the SkewT. So if we want to, we could set this to a 500 millibar parcel and see what lifting from 500 millibars looks like. So the next couple of things we could change are the surface parameters if we want to see how the sounding changes if we change the surface temperature to 60 or 70 degrees. And then click load temps. We can now see how that affects this profile itself, as well as all of the variables on the bottom. And we could do the same thing with dew point. If we go to 65 degrees and load it in, we now see, obviously there's a lot more cape here. So let's reset the temperatures back to where they were. We could do the same thing with surface wind, changing the wind direction and the wind speed, and that will change the photograph as well as the barb on the soundings. Obviously, we also see readouts on the mouse as we go up and down that reflect on the photograph as well. We could change on the photograph the storm motion. So right now we have a right motion, then we could switch things to a left motion, or again, change things to a custom motion by changing the angle and the speed. We can calculate lapse rates. So if we want to calculate lapse rates between 2,000 kilometers and 2,000 meters and 5,000 meters, we could click load custom lapse rate, and we see down here that is our custom lapse rate, 5.4 degrees Celsius per kilometer between the bottom and the top variable. And we could change that from height to pressure. So if we want 500 millibars to 300 millibars, if we load the custom lapse rate, we could see that's 7.3 degrees Celsius per kilometer. We could do the same thing with wind shear, with height. So if we want 1 kilometer to 5 kilometers, what's the shear there? If we load custom shear, right here we could see what the custom shear is, and that's 41 knots. We could turn the cursor outputs on or off. We could also draw fronts onto the photograph by clicking on different parts of the photograph. We can reset the SkewT, reset the photograph. And the last really interesting, or there's one more thing that we could do, change the photograph from mode relative to storm relative, and we could see the photograph remains the same, just where it's plotted is different. And the last thing that we could do is turn this modify sounding cursor on. So what we could do is now any layer of the sounding we could now update if we want to, and we could change. So if we want to change the 900 millibar temperature to 15 degrees Celsius, we could do that, and we could see that's reflected on the photograph, or on the sounding itself, excuse me. So let's turn this off, reset it, and turn it back on. The next thing that we could do actually is draw on the SkewT itself. So if we kind of click and drag and then click the right arrow key, we could change the temperature and the dew point of the environment. So we can move that all around. There are a bunch of other things you could do as well with this, which you can find in the help tab. So you could see arrow left adds 1 degree Celsius, or arrow left, adds 1 degree Celsius, arrow right removes. M exponentially moves the dew point to the highest temperature. L linearly interpolates. M mixed, dry adiabatically. So there's a lot of things that we could do. And we could do the same thing with the Hodograph as well. So a lot of customizations. It's a really unique thing that I haven't seen anywhere else, and that's something that we do. So you're able to customize your own soundings. So yeah, and it's pretty easy to do. So thank you for watching this video, and of course, if you ever have any questions, you could join our discourse or reach out to us on Twitter at AguaceroWx.